Hey Pirates, it's Dune doing another war recap here. It's been a while since my last one. Unfortunately, work happened, so that's the way it goes. Our latest war here, an 83-24 smashing of these guys. They didn't really put up much of a fight. You see, they didn't really use very many of their attacks, and not only that, they didn't have anything in a lot of their clan castles. So kind of a lame war, I guess, in that regard. But still some cool attacks. So I'd like to feature at least a few of those. We're going to start here some Town Hall 9s, then we'll get out of the Town Hall 8s in a little bit. First Town Hall 9 attack I want to watch is double A plus Ryan here taking on this base with what's called a Pentalaloon, which means you're using 5 Lava Hounds and the rest balloons. And the only time you can use this kind of attack strategy is if the enemy Archer Queen is exposed and there's either a Lava Hound in the clan castle that your air troops won't care about, or there's an easily lurable and poisonable clan castle, one of the two. So those are the two threats you have to deal with. If you can take care of the Archer Queen and the clan castle, it's actually a pretty reliable attack to go with a Pentalaloon. It's quite a good strategy, especially against these bases, kind of with more spread out air defenses. So you see he goes in with 4 Quakes in the south there to kill that enemy Archer Queen, like we talked about, and just smashes her down with his King's ability. And he starts bringing in these Lava Hounds, 2 on the first air defense, and then from then on he'll add in 1 more Lava Hound per air defense as balloons start closing in. So just drops a wave of balloons over on that east side that will start following. And you can see kind of all his troops working this counterclockwise motion going around the base. He's dropping more balloons to reinforce as the Lava Hounds move up to tank, and just slowly moving his way through this base. So this attack is really quite good and a good strategy to use if you can deal with those clan castle troops easily, because the base design really doesn't matter all that much. There's really not a ton you can do to prevent your base, dying to this. One thing he could have done, obviously, to set his expos to point up, but anyway, Double A plus round recognizes the weaknesses in this base and makes it work. The only real threat left to him is that wizard tower over there, just because his balloons are so clumped up. But fortunately, he has enough balloons to get it done. So last Lava Hound explodes there at perfect timing. You want him to explode because that makes the lava pups that help you clean up. So it explodes, his pups help him clean, and the balloons just barely finish off this wizard tower. Now he's got just enough cleanup troops. He's got the lava pups from earlier. He's got a couple wizards, and he's got that 1 balloon left. Plenty to get this base cleaned up in time for a really nice 3-star attack. All right, next we're going to watch Josh do a good old-fashioned go-ho. Josh first tries to lure the clan castle with about 4 hogs over there in the southeast before realizing there's nothing in there. This is one of the first attacks of the clan war, so he just didn't realize they were empty. Then he comes in from the north up here with a couple golems. He brought his own 2, because in his clan castle he brings a couple witches, which I think is kind of a cool idea. With our perk, we get those max level witches, level 3 witches that are extremely powerful. So Josh works his way in, drops his heroes, drops a few wall breakers to kind of open the space up. There goes a P.E.K.K.A that he brought with. Since his king is upgrading, he didn't want to take too much of his beef away. So his kill squad is working their way in. They've dealt with the enemy Archer Queen, so that's all done. Here come the hogs on the east side here, and start chopping their way through this base. Just dropping heals for them, keep them alive as they're working their way through. See, he just triggered a double giant bomb there with his golems, so that was really nice. Now the hogs are continuing to work their way through, continuing to heal them up as they need it. So he's only got 1 heal left and still quite a bit of base to go. But you can see up in the north, his kill squad is still alive and kicking. Those 2 golems and a P.E.K.K.A and a wizard are kind of smashing their way through all those walls. So they're tanking for that Tesla and that Expo and everything. And there he just remembered that he had a clan castle and dropped all his guys. So that actually helps him a little bit. The witches get down there and help kind of finish off these last few defenses, protecting those hogs. So the hogs work their way through. Only a couple more point defense left, and they're distracted by those witches, skeletons, which is really nice. So the Archqueen steps up, the hogs step up. He's got a couple cleanup wizards on the outside, which is great, helping dealing with these high HP storages and stuff like that. The only thing he's got left to worry about is time here, quite a bit of HP left and some builder at silver in the corners that he hasn't dealt with, which is unfortunate, but plenty of time. He gets a nice little split there and cleans it up for a nice 3-star. All right, I want to watch Calvin with this 3-star. This is one of the first times Calvin has tried hogs at Town Hall 9, I believe, and I really liked it. It was a cool attack. His timing was pretty good. Normally, when you have the Archer Queen all the way over there on the east side, you tend to send your kill squad in on the east side to kill that Archer Queen. But Calvin chooses not to do that, and it actually works out pretty cool in terms of timings here. So he also tried to lure the clan castle, and nothing came out, which was a little alarming. Drops a couple archers around the corner to kill off these trash buildings that might kill him on time later. Then he comes in with his big kill squad. He's got a golem in his clan castle and a couple P.E.K.K.A.s. So he earthquakes that whole big section open. So you can see how much of this base is opened up there. I said earlier that queen is still fairly well protected over there, but that's okay. He drops his golem, a couple wall breakers to get through that first section of wall, drops his P.E.K.K.A.s and all his wizards in a pretty big wave behind. Then after that, he'll drop his heroes. So his guys are moving kind of in towards his core, and then already starts dropping his hogs. So perhaps a little bit early, but it works for him. A lot of these defenses, like these Teslas and stuff, aren't even targeting the hogs. So with a heal there on them, it's enough to keep them alive, even though there's that enemy Archer Queen there shooting them. So it's a fairly low-level queen. The hogs can kind of survive it, especially under a heal, until the P.E.K.K.A.s and his king can bash their way through that wall and kill the queen off. So he kept a few hogs in his back pocket and drops them in there from the northeast to finish off those little sections that are being tanked by his kill squad troops. And now it's just a matter of getting his hogs to move around the rest of the base. So nice rage there, catches all the hogs, catches the P.E.K.K.A.s and the heroes and all that stuff. So pretty good value for that rage spell there. Gets the hogs over there and finishes the job. So really good attack by Calvin. Really like seeing the hogs. Seeing people branch out with these new strategies is pretty exciting. I like that a lot. So watching this guys get the cleanup so we can get that nice 3-star. Well done, Calvin. All right. I wanted to watch J. Cole hit number 10 here. So J. Cole is a Town Hall 9, and he's hitting 2 Town Hall 8s here. I don't normally show what I call bully attacks like that, which is, a higher level Town Hall killing things. But we got a number of people that are moving to Town Hall 8 now in our clan and are still relatively low-level Town Hall 9s. And it's not a sure thing to wipe out an opposing Town Hall 8. A max Town Hall 8 is a Town Hall 9. But J. Cole does this double Zapquake, so all you need to do is have your spell factory finished. So you get that extra spell. You bring 4 zaps and 2 quakes, and now you're left with a base that only has 1 air defense left. So with dragons, we'll even fast forward it 2 times because we all know what's coming here. The dragons are just going to sweep their way through. This is like Town Hall 7 status, where you're just bashing your way through, and there's only 1 air defense that's not nearly enough to take out, all 10 or 11 dragons, depending on what kind of composition you're bringing. So this is a pretty reliable method if it's coming down to the wire and we need that 3-star in a max Town Hall 8. As a new Town Hall 9, you can use this kind of strategy to give yourself a somewhat reliable 3-star on a Town Hall 8 without having to work on anything too fancy that can get foiled like hogs getting killed by a double giant bomb or something silly like that. So that's why I want to show that attack. So well done, J. Cole. All right. Now let's do some Town Hall 8 stuff. I want to watch Mike D hitting number 12 here. This base, Mike D recognizes is really ripe for a go wipe. It's got these huge just channels going around the outside, so his P.E.K.K.A.s and his golems are just going to work their way through incredibly easily. So here comes in from the southeast, drops some golems on those points. They're not even being targeted by anything yet because his walls are so spread out. So definitely a weak base and really exposed to this kind of go wipe strategy. So didn't bring any wall breakers. He doesn't need to. Just drops a couple wizards to bash their way through these pink walls. And once they go down, he can kind of start sending in his troops in a big mess of guys and just kind of run this base over. So drops a couple hogs. Those are neat little hogs. While all the defenses are targeting his golem, he drops those hogs to get a couple free kills on like an archer tower and a wizard tower and stuff like that. Then 4 P.E.K.K.A.s, a huge amount of P.E.K.K.A.s and wizards in its clan castle. That just gonna start mowing their way through this base. The Tessels there actually lure all the P.E.K.K.A.s into the middle, which is even better for him. He manages to smash his way through all that stuff. And that middle ring there is where most of the defenses are, so drops a haste, keep his P.E.K.K.A.s moving through there, which is nice. The wizards are getting the town hall. It's the usual stuff that you see with the go wipe, but this base was just really vulnerable to it, so I really like the target selection. And Mike D is just, cutting his way through this thing like hot knife through butter, so very good attack. And really nice choice of base to hit with a go wipe. Fast forward through this is all over but the crying. Mike D gets his 3-star, and well done. Alright, I got one more for you guys. I wanted to watch Silvio hitting number 15. And I like this. This is a pretty low-level Town Hall 8, but Silvio is not a max, doesn't have a max go wipe either. He's got level 1 golems. So he comes at this with 1 golem, actually, and 15 giants, which is pretty interesting, a pretty interesting composition. So bashes his way through that wall there with all the giants and the golem and heals them up. He's just got a bunch of archers and a max P.E.K.K.A. to follow up behind it. So this just kind of starts chopping its way through the base, and with these pink walls, he can just bash his way through any of the walls that need destroying. So mostly giants and archers and stuff like that. It's kind of a hybrid Town Hall 7, Town Hall 8 attack, but pretty interesting composition that I thought it was neat to see. You can see these kind of variations do work, so you don't have to just stick with a very strict, 2 golem, 2 P.E.K.K.A., 20 wizard or whatever it is go wipe. You can kind of twiddle with it depending on what composition you need to run to get the 3-star in the base. So great attack, Silvio. Remember when I told you that was the last one? Well, I lied, because I got one more I wanted to show you. I want to show Grog hitting this base. I don't think we've featured Grog yet, so he gets to be famous this week on the war recap. He's got he's doing a go wipe, and this has got to be one of his first attempts at go wipe, I believe. He's got level 1 golems, level 4 wizards, level 1 P.E.K.K.A.s, so he does not have max level troops here, and he's hitting a fairly well developed Town Hall 8. I mean, he's still missing some of his max defenses. It's not like it's a maxed out Town Hall 8, but it's certainly enough to be dangerous here. And he comes at this just the same old strategy we always use, just creates that big wave of wizards behind, kind of helps funnel his troops into the middle. So his golem and his P.E.K.K.A. start heading over toward the middle, drops him a rage spell to crush through those high HP buildings. You can see he has all of his storages and all that stuff on the outside of his base, which is actually a big mistake. You want to have those inside, not to protect anything, but because they're high HP and they'll distract things while your defenses kill them all. So Grog gets his guys into the core, and once he's got those golems in the core, they're tanking for most everything. So the P.E.K.K.A.s and the King kind of took a walk around the outside, which kind of works. Those guys tank for all those level 4 wizards, and they kind of work their way all the way around the outside of this base while the P.E.K.K.A.s, or while the golems in the middle are distracting some of the defenses. So kind of running out of steam there in the core, but it's okay because you still got those 2 P.E.K.K.A.s and the King outside. It's enough to bash through the pink walls and finish this base off for a 3-star. So really nice attack by Grog. It's cool to see some go wipes, guys. I like it. You guys are trying out new strategies, and it's clearly working for you. So anyway, some great attacks this war, Pirates. It was a good, some good victories despite being a relatively easy clan that didn't really put up much of a fight. So that's the way it goes. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching the video, guys, and I hope you learned something.